Have you ever been reading along in a commentary or a Bible study and it makes reference to a Strong's number? Perhaps it'll be something like you're reading in John 3:16, it says, "For God so loved the world." And the writer will say, well, the word translated love here is Strong's number, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. All right. What are the Strong numbers all about? And is it important to understand them? Well, the second question is really easy to answer. Yes, it's very important. The Old Testament's written in Hebrew, a little bit in Aramaic. The New Testament's written in Greek. And if you're really serious about doing word studies, you don't want to study what the English word means. You want to study what the Greek word means. And what makes it a little more complicated is that the English word love is going to be used of a translation of multiple Greek words, for example, in the New Testament. So the Strong's numbers are a way to get you to what the Greek word and the Hebrew word actually is as being translated, in this case, as love. But you don't have to know Greek and Hebrew to make use of the numbering system. So the numbers are very important for word studies, accurate word studies using Greek and Hebrew without having to learn Greek and Hebrew. All right. So what are the Strong's numbers and how do they come about and how are we going to use them? Okay, that's what I want to cover right now. Dr. James Strong lived 1822 to 1894. He was a professor at Drew Theological Seminary, and Dr. Strong wanted to create a concordance of the translation that he used, which is the King James. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with what a concordance is, but a concordance is a way to see all the verses that use the same word. So, for example, let's say you were studying the concept of love. So you'd open up the concordance to the entry on love, and then below the heading love will be snippets of all the verses that use the word love in their translation. So you look up love, you see all the verses, you get an idea of what the concept means in the Bible. But part of the problem is, as I said, there are more than one Greek words that are translated love. So when you're looking at a particular verse, "For God so loved the world," which of the Greek words for love is being translated there? Well, that's specifically the issue that Dr. Strong wanted to address. He wanted to give English readers access to find out what the Greek and Hebrew words are behind the English translations. So Dr. Strong and about 100 of his colleagues got together and made this concordance of the Bible. And in order to do that, they had to develop a numbering system. In other words, they had to give a number to every basic Hebrew word and to every basic Greek word. And so, for example, there are 8,674 Hebrew words in his numbering system, and there are 5,624 Greek words in his numbering system. So the way it works on a concordance now is that you would get a Strong's concordance, you'd look up love, you go down, you find John 3:16, "For God so loved the world," and then off to the side is going to be a number. Okay, that's Dr. Strong's number for the Greek word that's translated love. In that case, it'd be the verb agapao. And it was a way, again, to give you the ability to do a Greek word study without ever knowing Greek, okay? All right. So once you have this number, what do you do with it? Well, originally, when Dr. Strong did his concordance, he also did a Hebrew and a Greek dictionary. That was at the back of the concordance. It's a very basic dictionary. I mean, it gives you a basic idea what the word means. You wouldn't want to base a Bible study or a sermon on it for sure. But that was one way in which to use them. In this day and age, though, we have lots of different ways to use the Strong's numbering system. The most important would be that of computer programs. Most computer programs that have English and Greek all tied together will display the Greek or the English for you. And you read along, "For God so loved the world," and you'll tap on the word love, and it'll tell you information about the Greek word. Again, this assumes you have the right computer programs. It'll tell you some information about the Greek word translated love, and then it will give you the Strong's number. Then once you get that number, you can then go to other resources like my dictionary, Mounce's Complete Expository Dictionary of Old and New Testament Words, and you can look up what Strong's word number 1234 is, and you can see a complete discussion of that particular word. And the nice thing is that you're not just learning about the concept of love, you're actually seeing what the word that was actually used by John in John 3:16, what that particular Greek word means and its nuances and that sort of thing. So there's different ways to use it, and there's a lot of resources available today to use Strong's numbers. There is a competing, as it were, numbering system. It's called the GK numbering system, named after the two teachers at Multnomah who came up with it, Goodrick and Kohlenberger, hence GK. And while the GK numbers are not as popular as the Strong's, it's actually a better numbering system. And that's because there are a lot of Greek and Hebrew words that we became aware of after the time of Dr. Strong, and so he didn't come up with numbers for them. For example, the last Greek word that has a Strong's number is number 5,264. That number in Kohlenberger is 6,068. In other words, roughly 500 more Greek words are cataloged, and there's more Hebrew words as well. That's just because these are words that weren't used in the Greek text behind the King James. We have more Greek words now that we have to process, more Greek words that come up in the modern translations. So the GK numbering system is actually a little bit better, but Strong's is the one that is more popular. But your software should make the transition between these numbering systems for you. So Strong's numbers are simply a way to identify Greek and Hebrew words for people who don't know Greek and Hebrew. And the tools that are out there will show you the numbers, or they will actually provide the linkage to you, so you may not even need to know the number to go right to a word study book to help you understand them. So yes, Strong's numbers are very important if you want to do accurate word studies.